Hey everyone, so today we are going over patch notes, and man, this patch is going to be a big one. There's actually some really nice things coming. I'm excited about this. I think it's a good one for the community. So let's talk about it. So the first one, there is going to be a summon event. So the summon event is going to be an increase in drop rates for legendary heroes. So it's going to be increased from the 1% to 2%. They tend to, on other banners, what it was, I think you have 3 chances at those rates. So ideally, you should be getting a legendary every 50 shards instead of every 100 if you average things out. So hopefully you guys get to pull some legendaries early and those bonus rates help you. So that's pretty cool. They are going to be doing another 300% hero banner, and that one is actually going to be on Cordelia. Now Cordelia is, in my opinion, probably top 3 RGB hero. She is kinda LD tier. So if you guys do not have Cordelia, I would highly recommend pulling on that banner if you're really into PvP or guild versus environment. She's very, very strong there. The next thing, they are doing another round of limited summons. So the limited summons this time are going to be, you're going to be getting Shane, it looks like. So you're going to be getting Shane, which is an absolutely amazing hero. He's right in front of my face, isn't he? Right here. Just top tier hero in regards to guild versus environment, top tier hero in regards to dungeon runs. And even if he's A5, he gets this death immune kind of thing where he saves somebody who's about to die. Very strong in PvP then. He's one of the fastest characters in the game. I think a lot of people have oversight on that, but he can be very strong in PvP as well. So it's Shane, and then it's also Gavin. So Gavin, I think, is a bit underrated. He's kind of good in regards to counterattacks, healing himself back up. He's a very nice option for Rift of Chaos Fire. The reason he gets kind of overshadowed is because a lot of people already had Rosalie built up whenever he came out, but I think his damage is a bit better than Rosalie. But again, because of everyone investing in Rosalie already, there's probably no need to invest in Gavin if you have her. But he is a good hero. I would say probably a little underrated, but with how valuable resources are, it's hard to invest in somebody like Gavin when you have a Rosalie. And then the last hero is Pluto. So Pluto is basically an Ash Magisteria specialist, and I don't know if he's going to gain some value. I guess we're going to have to wait and see, because we are getting increased dungeon levels and new gear sets that come with those dungeon levels, which I'll talk about here in a second. But the legendary hero out of this group is actually going to be Gavin after the 2 of 3 pulls, which kind of stinks because I think it would be better if it was Shane. But anyway, it's going to be Gavin. What they've also mentioned here is this carryover. So Karma, right? It says is guaranteed after 3 or more legendary hero pulls. So if you pull on this limited summon banner, okay, and you don't pull Karma twice, so you get 2 legendaries other than Karma, the next legendary will be guaranteed to be Karma. This didn't used to carry over, so you would have to pull or save up enough Stardust to try and get at least 15,000 Stardust to be guaranteed Karma if you got unlucky and pulled like Ashlyn or Poros. This is now going to carry over. So if you pull like Ashlyn and Poros here and you're at 2 of 2, but you don't want Karma or you already pulled her, you can wait until the very next banner. And let's say this was 2 of 2 now, and then Gavin was the next unit. If you pulled a legendary hero on the new Gavin banner, you would guarantee get Gavin. That is huge. I think that is a great thing for the community, because now, you don't have to worry that, maybe some new broken characters coming out. If you wanted Ashlyn or Poros and, you wanted to hopefully get another hero on a new banner, you could pull on this banner. You wouldn't have to wait. So that's really, really nice. I like that. Okay, now the big news here, in my opinion, is these dungeons are actually getting a boost. So this is going to go from 16 all the way up to level 20. And it's going to increase, as they say here, your drop rate of high quality fabled gear. Now, I don't know what the drop rates are going to be. Right now, Fable gear is pretty hard to come by. You can still get blue gear in the highest stage of stage 16. A lot of people have asked that blue gear go away on stage 20. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not. They haven't mentioned any of that, so I'm assuming it's still going to be there. So I think we're just going to have to wait and see the rates. But with that, so each dungeon here, I thought there was going to be a new dungeon, but it's not this way. Each of these dungeons from stages 17 onward will drop one new gear set. So they'll add an additional gear set into the dungeons here for stage 17 and up only. So you're really going to want to try and at least get to stage 17 on these new dungeons. So there's 5 new sets. I'll talk about those in a second, but first I want to talk about the gear sets. So I don't know where these are going to fall. Like, I don't know which dungeon is going to have them, but I do know what the gear sets do. So one of the gear sets, and they're called Elemental Set, Wrath Set, Salvation Set, Immunity Set, which I think we all know, and then Resonance Set. So the Elemental Set, okay, it gains 12% bonus elemental damage. So that means it's going to be similar to, something like a Relic. So if we bring up a Relic here, and we filter by elemental, let's see if we can find that. Yeah, so like increases damage to light enemies, right? So something like this, where it says damage against light heroes is increased by 2.7%. What this elemental damage bonus is going to do is it's going to increase your damage by 12%. Now, I don't know if this is a 2-piece set or a 4-piece set. They said that there's a mix and match. We just don't know which one is 4-piece and 2-piece. I'm assuming that's going to be a 4-piece because 12%, if you're able to stack that up to 36%, it seems like it might be too strong. When it comes to that gear set actually being good or not, if it's a 4 set, I don't know. You have things similar like Assassin where you're doing, a percentage of damage to somebody if they're the main target, right? Sorry, let me go to this. So for the Assassin set, your attacks are dealing 50% more damage to the main target. So if it's an AoE hero, maybe it makes sense for it to be a 4-piece set. And if you're looking for a light AoE damage dealer to smack out a lot of damage to dark heroes, then maybe it makes sense. So that's the first one. The other one is, I believe, Wrath Set. It says when dealing damage, it gains 1 stack of Wrath that increases damage dealt by 6%. So this is, again, similar to maybe like Thunder Punisher, right? Where this is crit damage at the start of each round. So this stacks up to 90%. What you're going to see on this Wrath set is whenever you deal damage, it gains 1 stack of Wrath, which is equal to 6% of damage dealt instead of crit damage. But it gets stacks similar to Thunder Punisher here. Now, something that we don't know is if it's an AoE ability, if you get 4 stacks because you dealt damage 4 times to 4 separate enemies, or if it's just 1 time and it increases over time. If that's the case, I don't know if it's going to be round-based, but I could see heroes, similar to, let's see here, like Vengeful Hassle, who does these bonus attacks and stuff like that. It's going to be interesting, to take him out of Dragon Scale, which I think makes him extremely strong, hard to kill, kind of a tanky unit. But increasing his damage on those bonus attacks can really spiral, especially doing 60% more damage every time he attacks. We'll have to see how that one plays out. I'm sure that one's going to be a 4-piece set just based on the ability alone. There's the Salvation set, and on that set it says on support abilities casts, applies 1 stack of max health up to the target, which is 5 max stacks of 5. So now anytime you do something that doesn't do any kind of damage, so if we take a look at somebody like Jocasta, right? So apparently Jocasta can put on this set, and anytime she casts a support ability, so anytime she does her special ability or her ultimate ability, she will get a stack of max health. So her health will increase by 15%. I don't know if that can be removed. I don't know if it's like Hackrin. I don't know if it's similar to Karma. So I don't know. But that also seems like a pretty cool set. I think it gives a little bit more support to just support units in general, who I think kind of get a bad rap in RTA and maybe even guild versus guild or arena defense. But I'm liking the kind of uniqueness to these sets. I'm kind of liking it. So the other one is the immunity set, and I think we can all figure out what that one is just based on the name of it. But it will give you your very first round to be immune. So similar to like Divine Yolanda here, she's immune to all negative effects. If you have this ability, or if you have this gear set on your heroes, it will gain an immunity for that very first round, and then it will fall off. So this is very strong, usually in PvP modes. In regards to any of the other gacha games, you have a lot of really frustrating and annoying crowd control champions right now in the meta. You have people like, oh, whoops, I must be on something here. Hold on, let's clear that. Okay. So Desdemona is obviously a huge one. She puts silence and unhealable up on people. So if you have this immunity set on you, she won't be able to put Nightmare on the person that has the immunity, which I think can be very, very strong. I really like sets like this. It adds a different dimension to PvP. It does take away some of the RNG of stuff with stun sets and things like that. So I'm really excited about the immunity set. And then last but not least, we have the Resonance set. And this one is also really interesting. It says when attacking in this hero's turn, there's a 50% chance that the ally with the highest attack will launch a joint attack. So I think this set is going to be really cool for somebody like Goobeg. I think right here it says when attacking in this hero's turn. So he gets extra turns, right? It counts as his turn. So anytime he attacks, there's going to be a 50% chance that he brings in the ally with the highest attack to launch a joint attack. Now, it's only once per turn. But I want to see how this plays with Goobeg. I'm interested. Like, it doesn't say once per round. That's what makes me think that somebody who does multiple attacks per turn, or who gains bonus turns, similar to like Karma, whenever she counterattacks and things like that, it's going to be interesting to see how this whole thing pans out. But this is a set that I think could have a lot of potential. It could end up just being like a guild versus environment or a guild boss kind of set. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. But bringing in somebody to do a joint attack is pretty neat. So think of like Opal or the Crab, right? Let's see. There's joint attack down here. Joint. I know it's a buff. I can't find it. we will just bring up Opal, and we'll bring up the crab, because I know... Okay. Yeah. So the crab here, he gains joint attack, right? Anytime somebody attacks, he comes in. So this is what that gear set has the ability to do. It has a 50% chance to bring someone in. And I'm pretty sure it's with their basic ability. Again, I think that's going to be a four-piece set. I'm guessing maybe the support ability set is going to be 2-piece. I honestly don't even know which one should be a 2-piece set here. So, yeah. Those are the sets. Like I said, you can get those from the dungeons itself, but only stages 17 and up. So you really want to push for that. Now, along with this, these bosses are going to get each a new mechanic on stages 17 and up. So Tulpa. What Tulpa is going to do is every time you attack Tulpa 6 times, he's going to launch a counterattack with countering blow on the attacker, and the damage is going to deal 100% damage. Oh, not 100% damage. Sorry. It's going to deal damage, but it's going to ignore 100% defense. So, yeah, in regards to Tulpa, that's very interesting. I think it's going to be hard to speed tune it, but I think heroes that bring Invincible, I think heroes, this might actually be Bachelor's time to shine. Anytime he's attacked with a counterattack, he actually nullifies the damage and then gains damage up too. So maybe it's his time to shine. But ignoring 100% of defense is very interesting. I think if you, again, have someone with Invincible, or maybe putting Shield of Mercy on somebody, I don't know. But that's very interesting. We got to see how hard that ignore 100% defense is actually going to hit. Knowing the developers, I'm assuming it's going to be a little overtuned, but I guess we'll wait and see. So for Ash Magisteria, what Ash gets is on each ultimate ability cast, it launches a joint attack with Flame Vortex, and it deals damage to all enemies and will recover health equal to 50% of the damage dealt. So, I don't know how much that AoE ability is going to hurt, but I think as long as you bring in somebody that has unhealable, and there are some decent ones in water, most notably Nero. On his ultimate ability, he does cut the healing in half. I will say that, a lot of teams right now use Aaron to reduce ultimate ability cooldowns and things like that. So I don't know if that's going to be the right way to go, especially depending on how hard Ash is going to hit. But other than that, anytime you have a hero that can bring unhealable to the fight, which again, this is kind of like a play on why Pluto might be good. He's killing all the minions. He's doing true health, which I'm sure is going to scale really, really well. But he also puts unhealable up on his basic ability as well. So it might be his time to shine here as well. So Bachelard and Pluto looking like they're going up a little bit in value. In regards to Queen of Tides, so what the Queen's going to get, it says at the start of the round, if this hero has 2 or more negative effects, it will cast Cleansing Dew, removing all negative effects, and then gains 2 random blessings, right? Which is part of her mechanic here. And then when she has, more positive effects, she does more damage. So it looks like negative effects on the Queen aren't going to be very good. But I really don't think this is going to change Queen at all. I think as long as you still have somebody like Rachel, Rachel is just amazing in this dungeon. I think Elise is still going to be very good in this dungeon. I think it does take away somebody like Hyun Woo. I think Hyun Woo might not be as good in the higher stages of Queen of Tides, but I think you're looking for somebody like Elise who can remove buffs. Same thing with Rachel, absolutely amazing. in this instance. I think from an epic perspective as well, I think Karina is going to be very good. She removes buffs on the boss and things like that. So I'm guessing Queen right now. Queen of Tides seems like the easiest one, but I guess it's going to be it's going to remain to be seen. So I guess we'll see that whenever it actually comes out. Next is Witch of the Wind. So Witch says whenever the witch attacks, if the target that she attacked has 2 or more positive effects, it is going to launch a joint attack with Assassin Strike. Does she have Assassin Strike already? Okay, so new effect. Oh no, Assassin Strike here. Deals damage to all enemies and applies bleeding on them for 2 turns and then grants a bonus turn at the end of the round. So if you bring heroes that have positive effects on them, 2 or more, she's basically going to be countering with a second attack here on Assassin Strike, which can do a decent amount of damage if you're not careful, with her getting these lightning orbs and stuff like that. So that one's going to be interesting. I don't know how that's going to work out. I would say, maybe the current teams that are playing right now, I don't think Nathalia is going to work with the positive effects. It might be too detrimental. This is going to be interesting. Maybe the Antinua teams still work out pretty well. I think Aaron, you probably have to worry about the positive effects on him. Shane also adds positive effects. This one's going to be interesting. It's all going to depend on how much that scales, if she gains lightning orbs, all of those things from her Assassin Strike. Yeah, this one I could see being an issue. But I guess we'll have to see again. So, all right, so last but not least is Gemini Dragon. So Gemini Dragon is kind of gated right now behind some kind of poison comp. He's also gated behind, maybe some really high damage coming out of, like Antinua or whatever. This is the team. Elise can also be used, true damage kind of hero. But he says upon defeating an enemy, it launches a bonus attack with Dragon Breath. So Dragon Breath right here damages all enemies. The damage dealt by this attack scales with the amount of health lost by the targets. So the more damage he does, it's just going to scale. So you're really going to want to build your heroes tanky so they don't die, because if they do, it's probably going to be a wipe, because then this just chains into each other. I don't know how hard this is going to be. I don't know if they're going to limit poison or anything like that, but who knows if that's going to be detrimental or not, because I think if you still have a poison comp just on the surface, it looks like you'll still be fine in regards to Gemini Dragon. So those are the new mechanics that each of the bosses will get. New gear sets, new stages, all of that. On top of that, sorry this is a long video, but they got a lot of stuff in here. So the faction challenges are actually going to be increased as well. So they're adding additional dungeons where you can get higher drops at legendary ores. Right now, stage 20 is pretty difficult on most of these. I think only one person has completed this entire thing. So, I don't know. I see this being kind of tough. This is close to some of the hardest content in the actual game. So the fact that they're increasing these stages when only, I think, one person has beaten it is a bold strategy, but they're doing it. They're increasing the difficulty in stages there. They are also increasing the stages on this elemental power stuff. So right now this goes up to level 10. Apparently they're going to increase this to level 15. So now you can use your your Taexes to get even more stats. So maybe that's why they're increasing, dungeons and all that stuff, because this stuff is eventually going to increase your power. But yep, you're going to be able to use your Taexes again. And then last but not least, to finish out the video, guys, Guild versus Guild is actually getting a ban list. This is very, very interesting. It says right here that they added a hero ban system with 3 heroes being banned each season. So each season is 2 weeks long. So there's going to be heroes banned each season. And this upcoming ban list in about 10 days is going to be Nero. So we're going to have Nero as one of the bans. I'm not sure I understand this one. I mean, he is a pretty good nuker from the red, green, blue. I think with the damage reduction and things like that that comes with Guild versus Guild, maybe he was a problem. I don't know. It didn't seem that way to me. But I'm guessing analytics showed that. The other one is going to be Ralph, which is very, very strong in Guild versus Guild because of the damage reduction. And then he's also reducing damage in general to the rest of his team. So that's the other ban. And then last but not least, the third ban is going to be Vengeful Hassle, which is another one that I think really benefits from the damage reduction because he already has damage reduction in his kit. So those are the 3 bans, Nero, Ralph, and Vengeful Hassle. So it's going to be interesting, this upcoming Guild versus Guild season. Let's see if it does anything. But, finally done, guys. Let me know what you think. I think the summon events are really cool. I think the carryover of the limited summons is a great win for the community. New dungeons, that's exciting. New gear sets kind of shake up PvP. And then increase in power to faction wars. You're going to have things to spend on your Taexes. And then ban system. So, yeah, that's all I got. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.